Contribute to the #PuckStrong movement for mental health in hockey athletes by watching the video, tweeting the hashtag, and sharing your stories on the website. I want to use this opportunity as a bit of a breather, to take things as they come and to slow down with everything that we're talking about here. A few hours ago, on tsn.ca, on the 1040 page, Jeff Pettersson published an article talking about Travis Green and his thoughts, opinions, and overall mindset regarding Elias Pettersson. And this article had a whole new set of things that Vancouver Canucks fans looked at and were like, this is really interesting. Because this article highlighted just what Travis Green, in particular, thinks about Pettersson, and I think this is a good opportunity for me to step in and start discussing Elias Pettersson and his opportunities and expectations. This is basically a 2018-19 expectations for video. It's just that because Pettersson is freaking Elias Pettersson, arguably the best Swedish young player since Peter Forsberg, I feel that this is a topic that deserves its own merit. So starting things off about this article here that Pettersson was able to publish, I'll leave a link in the description by the way, it immediately goes into detail about how Travis Green, as the new coach of the Vancouver Canucks 1 year ago, stepped into the locker room, stepped in at the combine and everything, had his opportunity to get to know a little bit of the draftees before they got drafted. He said right away that he knew there was something in Pettersson that was going to incite him into being a good player. A player who was going to play at the highest level in the world, and according to the article, Green told TSN 1040, I was like, this kid, he's going to play. He's not cocky, but this guy is dialed in and has no doubt in his mind he's going to play, and he's going to be good. So, there's a whole layer of confidence here. There's a confidence that Elias Pettersson was able to portray, and this confidence was noticed by Travis Green, which incited Green into believing, yeah, he's going to become a good player. They also talked about here in the article how Green sat down, spoke with Pettersson for a little bit, some small talk, and, of course, back at this time, they didn't really know that Pettersson was going to become a Canuck. Travis Green was just sitting down and talking with one of the top prospects of the draft. Pettersson's article also talks about how Travis Green had been keeping up with Pettersson's progress in the Swedish Hockey League and is fully aware of everything that he was able to do. Of course, you kind of have to be. It was all over the news everywhere. Literally every hockey market was discussing this, and Elias Pettersson is arguably one of the most talked about players outside of the NHL, not named Rasmus Dahlin, Ilya Kovalchuk, Slava Voinov, or Paul Bissonnette. With that being said, however, Green is talking about how he truly acknowledges everything that Pettersson was able to accomplish, and of course, everybody was on the train of this. Oh my goodness, he broke Forsberg's record. Oh my goodness, he broke Kent Nielsen's record. He's the best 19-year-old, 18-year-old kid playing in this league ever. And that's crazy. And so, coming into the Vancouver Canucks organization, he signed his contract. The summer is going to be great to him. He's going to have a training camp that better be at least average. If he has a bad training camp, I don't think he's going to make the team. But let's say he has an average training camp, boom, he's on the team. Because, let's face it, you can't discredit the best Swedish junior player ever. And by this time, everybody sort of knows, yeah, he's making the NHL next year. It's kind of obvious. So, Travis Green taking a look at this truly acknowledges it, truly acknowledges the talent that was there, all the feats that he was able to accomplish, and the hype, expectations for everybody in the hockey world looking at Pettersson coming into next season. So what does this mean? Well, it means that, for now at least, we don't actually know what's going to happen. In Pettersson's article, Green talks about how he's not really sure on if it's going to be center or right winger for Pettersson. He was drafted as a center, spent probably half of his season with the Vequa Lakers the most previous season playing on the right wing. He played on the power play like that, even strength like that, had a good stint as a center as well, but it was more or less inconsistent. So coming into next season, it's obviously something that we will need to sort out. Of course, there's a limited amount of qualms. People don't really care whether it's center or right winger because we still know he's going to be good. He's going to be good wherever he plays. And obviously, it's just the center right winger thing is going to change things up, who he's going to play with and everything. Maybe he centers a line with Brock Besser, but maybe he's the right winger of a Bo Horvat. Who knows? But going forward, Travis Green talks about how he's basically going to give him all the opportunities in the world here. And we've seen this happen before. Brock Besser. Let's take a look at him, for example. He didn't get any free passes into the game of hockey. He was scratched for the first few games of the season. Travis Green made him work really hard for everything, and Brock Besser earned that. Green is not shying away from discussing the fact that Brock Besser earned every second of playing time that he had. Sure, he got a whole bunch of goals, he got a whole bunch of points and everything, offensive dynamo, all that, but he was just a good player all around. He was good off the puck defensively, and offensively, of course, Calder nominated, right? So Pettersson is going to be in a position where he's going to have to earn that too. And I think that's the biggest expectation here, is to bring that work ethic that we saw in the SHL over to the NHL. Because Pettersson starting things out, Green is not going to shy away from introducing opportunities to Pettersson. It's just that if Pettersson is a bum out there and he doesn't really do what it takes to maintain a good, solid standing in the league, Green's going to say, yeah, no, you're getting scratched. What are you doing? We saw this with Besser. And it's interesting because Besser didn't even have all of that hype around him. I mean, he had hype, but it wasn't like everyone was so sure that he was going to have a Calder-nominated season. So, now, we're taking a look at Pettersson. Some people are still on that, he might use some time in Utica train. That's totally understandable, but a good, solid portion of the fan base is like, yeah, no, he's making the team. He's making the team. 80-plus points. Okay, maybe not that part, but there's a general expectation out there that exists that labels Pettersson as a 40-point guy. Let's say a 40-point guy, maybe a 35-point guy, half a point per game pace. And this is something that, incredibly, isn't too unrealistic for most people. They think, listen, okay, Pettersson first season, 35 points, that's not bad. Reasonable. And it's crazy that that's reasonable, because he still hasn't stepped out onto the NHL ice surface yet. So, going into this season, we can't really expect everything to be as fine and dandy as it was in the SHL. He still has to have that adaptation into what the game has to offer over here, on this side of the pond. And Travis Green, in this article highlighted by Pettersson, he's going to be able to give Pettersson the opportunities. Green talks about power play time, even strength time, minutes out there on the ice. Pettersson is going to be a guy who gets fed all of this stuff if he's worth it. Of course, if he's a bum, no, he's not getting any of it, he doesn't deserve it. But, seeing as Travis Green already has the utmost faith in Elias Pettersson, he's seen it before he was drafted, he saw it before the draft, he's seen it throughout the season. Pettersson is a hard worker, and he's a guy who's going to come in here, and he knows exactly what he needs to do in order to get what he wants. And what he wants is a top NHL role. Of course, seeing as he had a very historical best junior season ever in the SHL, he's most likely got that talent. And it's incredible to us because he has the work ethic as well. Overall, just a great kid, a great player. Elias Pettersson is set to come into the Vancouver Canucks organization as quickly as next season and make an immediate impact. This is just crazy to me. When Brock Besser started out, I already talked about this before. People thought that Besser needed the Comets. And don't get me wrong, I said the same thing about Pettersson, but the difference is, it was probably like 50-50. Like, half of the fan base was like, yeah, no, Besser needs Utica time. He needs Utica time. Then he'll play at the end of the season with the Canucks. And the other half was like, Bo Horvat just got over 10 goals and like 25 points, so we could expect the same thing from Brock Besser, right? And, of course, he completely blew that all out of the water. So Pettersson now. People are talking about, yeah, no, half a point per game. Yes, that's good. And, in my opinion, there's just so many layers to this. We don't know how well he's going to transition, how well his weight is going to hold up out there, but assuming everything goes right, and I think that for me is the best expectation we can have here, everything goes right. His transition is done the way it's supposed to be, he gets the ice time he deserves, and he plays with good line mates, I can expect 40 points out of Pettersson. I'm thinking 20 goals, 20-something assists. That's a really, really high expectation, honestly, for Pettersson. So I'm going to put things a little bit down, because I think best case scenario, it's 40 points, 20-20. But if I want to go realistic expectations, assuming that everything goes to the most realistic standard that it could, I would cap things off maybe at like 32, 33 total points. That's oddly specific, I know, but I don't want to go up and down a little bit too much here. 33 points, let's say, is my expectation. And I'm going to cap things off 17 goals. Let's put that power play time to good use. And we'll add 16 assists to that. So a nice even stat line, 17 goals, 16 assists for Elias Pettersson in, let's say, 60-plus games played. That's the expectation for me. And I don't want to put these numbers on a guy who has never played in the NHL before. I talked about that with Adam Gaudette. But this is not Adam Gaudette. This is Elias Pettersson. This is the best Swedish junior forward since Forsberg. This player was better than Forsberg. This player was better than the Sedins, who took a long time to transition into the NHL, by the way. Marcus Naslund, too. So, there's so many different things that we can talk about here, but the bottom line is, Travis Green is giving him the opportunities. Travis Green apparently is in a position where he already trusts Pettersson, because Pettersson has shown to Green that he is a player who deserves every bit of success that he's able to squeeze out of the game of hockey. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for gaming, and bye.